Hello and welcome to Sina Bounce Live. Today we're going to talk about networking, of course. Today is going to be about don't stop networking when you are busy. And you might think, but hang on, I'm too busy. I don't have time to network. So Jamie, what do you feel about that subject?
It's the best time to network, right?
Yeah.
Because you've got more to network about and you don't network when you're desperate. So a lot of good networkers, and you'll hear them, they don't actually sell their business. Right, they just talk about what they've been doing.
Yeah.
Okay, and people will buy into you more when you're busy.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah.
So they literally buy into you, and they kind of go, "Well, he's busy, so obviously he must be great." And actually, we can bring this back. Right, we'll bring this back into the hospitality industry. So this is Charlott's kind of forte. She spent 25 years working in the hospitality industry. For those of you who don't know, Charlott actually set up the UK's first ever wine bar in Fulham Road in London. And one of the things that the hospitality industry do is they will open up their restaurant and then they will basically tell everybody they're booked out.
Yeah, that's it. I didn't know where you were going with this thing, because these are never rehearsed, by the way, and when there's no script, so you never know where to go. But yes, one of the things I'm going to shout it out, that I'm going to probably be shut down by Marco Pierre White or someone. But when a Michelin star restaurant opens up, they have the big launch party. Amazing, the champagne is flowing and they invite all the celebrities and lots of photographs are taken. And the next day, they are obviously fully booked.
Yeah.
Well, they're not, because they're not open. The kitchen are still just prepping, and they're tasting and they're testing, and they're coming up. And it's a trick.
The reason why they do it. It's the reason why they do it.
Yeah, because
we all want what we can't have.
Exactly.
We all want what we can't have. So if you're really busy, your potential clients, they want to work with you because you're busy. If you're not very busy, one of the worst things, right? And it is like networking suicide, is when people go, "Oh, you haven't been up to much recently. I'm a bit quiet." And you're like, I hear it. I just want to shoot myself.
I know. And you hear it a lot when people are starting out, and we all started out somewhere. We all start from the beginning, and of course you're not going to be busy when you first open your doors. Another thing that restaurants do is hire people in to sit at the front of the restaurant to get people to look like they're busy.
Yeah,
that's a big thing as well. So, but there's so many tricks and trades, and that I'm obviously referring back to hospitality, but it doesn't have to be that. But when you're in a networking situation, please don't say, "I haven't had a client for 6 months." You can share that with your business buddies. Make sure you've got some really loyal business buddies that you can talk to.
And if you're quiet, there's other things that you can do, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're not getting much customers in, fine. Okay, find people that you can do stuff for and literally just do it for testimonials. So go out, do some work and say, "Look, I'll do that for you, but I want a testimonial." And that is value in itself, mm-hmm. right? It's something else that a lot of big organizations do. They give for free. They're called influencers.
Yeah.
All right. And you can find these people. You don't have to go on Instagram to find influencers. We're influencers, right? And we're always doing stuff with people, and we're always giving testimonials. It's kind of part and parcel of what we do. But the main thing that you have to do when you are networking is always network, and it's always be consistent, because you want to be at the forefront of the mind when that person wants something. So a lot of people make this mistake. They stop networking and then they get quiet, then they start networking again. Well, of course, now they've got to rebuild that relationship again. It's just absolutely pointless.
Even if it's just once a week, even if think you are really busy and you're really sort of not finding the time to network. Well, first of all, if you're networking online, it's only an hour. So obviously with Sina Bounce, it's only an hour, and you can choose the ones that suits your schedule because you've got the backup of the platform. But with other networks as well, if you've always been, so we got one that we go to monthly, which is the Turbine Breakfast.
Yep.
We go there religiously once a month. And it's the consistency, because people recognize you. It becomes, a friendly group. If they stopped going for 6 months, people wouldn't remember you.
They would forget you. And I used to be we were both part of another network. And literally, once you've left, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, you may as well just fall off the edge of the earth.
Yeah. Don't think sometimes as well that people that are in that network will always be your friends. You need to sort of find your friends that you can really sort of trust and support, because the people in the networking groups are there to network. They're there to build relationships, to better their business and get business for themselves.
Yeah.
That is the bottom part. However much we love to think that it's, you know, your friends and your business buddies and stuff, some of them might turn into business buddies, and that's great. That's lovely. But at the end of the day, you're all there because you want more business.
Yeah.
Now, if you're really busy, I have seen this a lot, and you mentioned it just a couple of minutes ago. I've seen so many people stop networking when they're busy, and then they lose a big contract, and then they haven't got anybody else to fill that gap. It's actually made businesses go under, and don't fall into that trap. That's why we're doing the show today, because I think it's such an easy trap to fall into. You can't, you think you're too busy, and then that big client that you had, gone.
And I think there's another point there. I don't know what, we've got a couple more minutes left to talk, but one of the things that, like, I do believe in networking strategically, okay, but I do also believe in being consistent. And a lot of people, they network with the room, they don't network through the room. So they don't think about the people in the room and who they know.
It's all about who they know.
Yeah. And we've seen it a lot where people go out network and they go after the next shiny network. That, you know, oh yeah, but so and so and so and so is going to be there. They've got their contacts, right? They don't. You've got to work. You've got to work 5 times as hard to get there. And now I'm a motivational speaker, and I've got a global brand. Okay, I'm renowned. You know, I get booked all over the world. Yet I'm not naive to understand that actually, just because I'm in a room with someone else, it doesn't mean they're going to book me for a talk. Right. So if I'm in a room with Alan Sugar and he runs an event, I can guarantee he ain't going to pick me. Right. He's just not. Right. It's reality.
Yeah.
So just because you're in the room with the big shiny people, it doesn't mean that they're going to book you. You still need to make sure that you've got your underlying, your bread and butter. Right. And your bread and butter are the networks where you sit consistently in.
Yeah.
Right. So you consistently network with these people, you consistently work with them. And then on the occasion, you network in other networks, the bigger impact networks. But you are then constantly in that consistency.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way of describing it that you just have. Because I think that is something that a lot of business owners, when they start out in the first sort of 3 years of business, and, you know, we've all been there, because it is lovely to go to big events and things like that, but you've got to keep your consistency in other areas as well. And I think that's a really good sort of point to finish off with. So what about one other thing that I wanted to mention was you can have a waiting list.
Yeah.
You know, if you're a web developer and you say to someone, yes, that's fine, I can fit in the work, but it's going to be in 6 weeks' time once I finished another big contract. If you're a VA, exactly the same. Wouldn't it be lovely to be able to say to people, hang on a second, I love to work with you. I am really fully booked at the moment, but I will fit you in X amount of time. And I know a person that we work with who does that really perfectly. And, you know, it doesn't have to be last minute. And I think if you can get that message across when you go networking, people are just going to open up to a different level, and they're going to, you know, go, wow, that's really impressive. They're obviously doing really well. I want some of that too. So that's another really top tip. You know, get your waiting list. Why not? I think it's a great top tip. What about you?
It is. And but I think the top tip is in the title. The best time to network is when you are busy.
Absolutely.
Because you are then laying the foundations for the work that coming in behind. I think that's a brilliant way to end it. I think it's fab.
Thank you so much for watching. As always, we'll be back here very soon again. And until then, stay tuned. Take care.